Previously on 100 Line, Last Defense Academy.
Let me show you what a redo looks like. I said I'd start over. I didn't say how I'd start over. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 100 Media Vision, Xseed, Cryware. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Minus Lap.
My name is Tolinar, and I am an overlord! Welcome to Last Defense Academy.
And I'm an overlord. We're going to play 100 Line. Now, a lot of people complete their first lap and then proceed to use the redo power to loop through time and start the game over in the past. We're going to actually start the game over from day one. I'll share everything I've learned with you as an overlord. We're also going to skip a lot of stuff and get going. Begins at some point. We're going to skip a lot of cutscenes here, so be ready for that. If you're interested in the story, please go watch the other video. I go through every last event in excruciating detail. You can read through everything as it happens in real time. I'm here to provide strategy and insight into beating 100 Line, crushing it into powder in your hands. Okay, you can't lose in this segment, just rush around the building. During the first segments, there are very few things you can actually do which strongly affect the outcome of the game. Very few. Skipping, skipping, skipping. You need this? Your first and only major decision isn't really a decision. During your first playthrough, you will encounter two of these. Start by fighting the monsters. As much as I love the transformation sequences, we are going to get the lead out here. First thing you should know is that during the battle tutorial, there is no way to change the resources you get or alter the overall flow of the game. So just do as you're told. Start by selecting side slash and positioning yourself on the marked space here. Done. Proceed to the next space and side slash. End your turn. The tips they give you are nonsense, but you can't do anything about it for now, so go ahead and slash these guys down. Like so. Then end your turn. This will restore your ability to move. The enemy will trundle towards you a little bit. Dash in and finish it off. Battle over. The next enemy approaches, you have 100% gauge. Immediately unleash your gauge. Fast and elegant. Skipping cutscenes, let's get into it. As we introduce ourselves to the various characters, I'm going to talk about what you should actually know about these characters, okay? Just gonna skip forward as fast as possible. Okay, so let's go through everything because I have to talk about every single one of them. First, Hiriko. Hiriko is an assassin, a single target executioner type. She has a huge axe and her damage is really high. The best combo you can get from her is to use sweep on 3 small weak targets and then start massacring larger targets. The buffs really stack up quick with her. The next character you need to know about is Darumi. She's over here. Darumi is a death head. She alternates between inactive and active, meaning that she can recover from fatigue on her own. If you have lots of extra turns, you can use it with Darumi to completely murder clusters of enemies, and she generates tons of voltage. She is the second most useful character that you receive. This is Eito. He is marginally useful. He will emerge later on. I actually need to get the other character, Takamaru, first. I went in the wrong order. It's okay, we're going to talk to Takamaru next. Here he is. Here's Takamaru. Takamaru gains defense by moving, which means you can literally run circles around enemies in order to hold them in place for extended periods of time. He soaks up damage. He's very useful for that. Right. Next is Tsubasa. Tsubasa has a large unit, 2x2, and she's very mobile. In addition, she improves the mobility and toughness of other units. She is support. She's also got really good AoE crowd control. This is Gaku. You get Gaku at about the same time. He has good wide range damage, and he's also a great voltage generator. In other words, they're both really strong support characters. This is Shoma. You get Shoma later. Shoma is a tank. Shoma is amazing. Unfortunately, Shoma has a confidence problem, so you're not going to see him for a lot of the game. This is Ima and Kako. Kako is a sniper, and Ima is a destroyer. They're both useful character types. You'll get to play with Ima for a handful of moments only. He's kind of a dick anyways. Kako will be there to the end of the game when she joins. Her ranged power will be very useful if you master it. Let's get on with it. Skipping this. This is the commander, C-Ray. Unfortunately, you won't get much time with him either. This time. Let's get on with it, people. The window very slowly opens. All right. Okay. Auto skip. The Undying Flames. An interesting mechanic. Great. So, the objective is to win at combat. And we're gonna get to practice that right now. Let's talk about combat strategy. The best place to talk about combat strategy would be to do it in an actual battle. So start the battle. Okay, hang on. skip some cutscene here. During a combat, which involves tower defense, there's a variety of different combat in the game, but during a standard tower defense combat, you need to prevent the tower from reaching 0 HP. Now, for score-wise, any amount of damage more than 0 is fine and does not contain drawbacks on your first playthrough. So it's okay if the tower takes damage. What is bad mojo is when the characters take damage. Understanding how the enemies move, understanding how the enemies are scored, maximizing the amount of money you get from completed missions, and clearing missions without serious problems. Those are your 2 goals. Cleared missions are worth money. Every enemy killed provides a certain amount of money. We are headed up to the war room, so let's go. Welcome to the war room. This is where almost all of the missions begin. We'll all hop to the war room and then we'll all be ejected via the launchers. We will watch the launch sequence exactly 1 time. Let's get going. Transform! As I mentioned earlier, missions are worth money. Every killed enemy is worth 5, and the mission has a base value. Those are the primary ways in which you will receive gold for completing the mission. The number of turns you take doesn't really matter. Casualties on your side can actually be worth extra gold when they are permissible. However, in the first battle they are not. No characters may die. With a single exception, plot. Anyways, let's get on with it. During the first battle, you have a lot of opportunities to do certain things to demonstrate how the characters fight, okay? Let's try each one of these special things out, shall we? First off, Garumi uses splash attacks, okay? Her attacks actually have significant range. As you can see, from this position, she can strike 3 spaces in front of her, and she gets 15% voltage, which is a lot, from just wiping out these units. Pretty good performance. Kiriko can use really strong attacks. We're going to use Cranial Fracture Max to take out this enemy in 1 hit. Very nice. Okay. Kakamaru gains defense when he moves. The further you go, the more defense you get. He also strikes all enemies around him. Very impressive. And while this guy does have some hot moves, he won't be in range of anyone. And so the best thing I can demonstrate on this turn is when to pass. Passing generates AP, which can make it easier because all AP carries over. Having all of your AP on the same turn can make it easier to clear large clusters of enemies at the same time. These enemies, by the way, these Darumars, will strike you down if you're in the way, but you are not obligated to fight them. Note that these turns do not carry over. So while it is tempting in fact, let me come around this guy and strike him from the other side. That will generate a shield protecting me from him. What I actually want to do is just barely trim one enemy with her power to generate as much power as possible with my AP. Note that her low mode does even more damage. Now she's able to freely move again. Isn't that amazing? We want to wipe out enemies that are in range of the generator, ideally. We don't want this one or these ones to get there. Those ones won't be able to get in range. So we'll have Darumi wipe out this cluster towards the front. We'll stand her as far back as possible and blow these up. Great. End turn. The enemy will advance, ignoring the characters, until they're in range. It's because they're greasers. It's what they do. This guy, on the other hand, is going to go back and forth while I stall. I'm going to do this to generate enough voltage to add a power boost. We'll do that next round. I could use special attack to clear this guy out. Honestly, I don't care that much about the 2 points of damage on the portal to do that. I'd rather just hold on to the energy. Note that circling around to the opposite side of a grizzly makes it easy enough to manhandle this guy. This will generate a very small amount. This will generate a very small amount. Any leftover is not saved. You want to spend off to charge up any extra voltage you can. That's the best I can do. So now we'll kill this guy. And there we go. The last AP I can't recover. Too bad. Okay. Next, the commander appears, and we get a couple more tutorials. So far, there are no major problems. Okay, I won't spoil what happens in case you miss it. Darumi, well, as you can see, she's a pancake. We're not here to watch the plot, we're here to learn about how to win. Alright, focusing. We are now starting into the commander phase of this battle. Here come hostiles. So, if any ally or the barrier goes down, we lose. We have all the hemo anima that we generated last time. We can activate a boost to strengthen a character. The best way to do this on is probably... I guess. What we want to do at this point is race around, thumping quickly. The shielding will make it possible to just get around here and continue smashing through hostiles. No. Now I'll activate a boost and perform a move again. Alright. That cleans up a whole cloud of the enemies. There's still some coming. The important thing here is Whether an enemy suicides on the gate or is killed by a player, that still counts as dead. But any grunts that are not killed before the boss is defeated will not be scored. So, to get the most money possible out of this battle, what you want to do is clear every other enemy before turning your attention to the boss. To minimize damage, have Takemaru run wild on the back line. That will draw the boss's attention. You can take the punishment. Now these little chumps are just asking for it. Give them a laceration 3. There's no reason not to clean these fools up. Good. Now, this guy. Once again, move his butt all the way around here. Kill a couple. Generate some energy. And again, I'm gonna go ahead and have you perform a move again. And perform a side slash. Right. Now I'll end my turn. Takemaru will get hit. That's gonna blow up. Takemaru is fine. Okay. I'll go ahead and perform cranial fracture max until that. Why not? That won't get in range. Now I'll move around the enemy like so to generate the maximum possible shield. The attacks will now just bounce off. And I can pass. Let the enemy come closer. The attacks will just bounce off. Now I've got a problem though. I need to get over there, so I'm going to actually perform a dash to change position and then attack it. I wouldn't even bother except very small amount of points. Again, all the way around and tag with the corner. Shields on. Pass. Again, all the way around. From the back. Shield up. Pass. Doing great. Note the AP accumulating. This is the proper defensive strategy. This enemy is drawn to the nearest human player. And if the nearest human player happens to be sitting on a full tank of defense, then it will rant and rave while we accumulate AP. Unfortunately, no matter how much AP you generate, it's not possible to one-shot this guy. When his health gets too low, he will sprint on out of here and we won't be able to finish him off. But the closest we can get will be to use this guy's overdrive power, which will require quite a bit of kiting. We're getting just 5% per turn, but we're also stockpiling. If we are careful, we might actually get him. Watch what happens. Let's get in there. One more attack, and he's out of here. Interrupting our turn. We had enough AP to murder the commander. But, battle over. Note that we get 255 for 51 unique enemies killed. We got every single one, including the boss. Total of 1,055. You can ignore the rating. Doesn't matter. The key factors are how many allies died. When, believe it or not, on the first lap, more is better. And second, whether you killed all the enemies while fighting the boss. There's an upper cap, I believe, of 200. And in stages where enemies just keep coming, you can hit it. Okay. Now we have to navigate through all the different locations. Mouse over a cursor from the map in order to teleport there. Here's the cafeteria. We eat for an hour. It is revealed that the game will go on for 100 days. Positioning and timing is super critical in this game. Okay, it wants me to walk, so I'm gonna go ahead and walk. Laying down super fast beatdowns on these guys, generating every last dollar I can. Having completed it just once, I've gained enough information to completely crush this game. It's very important to note that only a handful of characters are with you for almost every fight. The one character who's always omnipresent is the main character. So you can always accumulate hemoanima on him. But my personal preference is actually Gaku, of all things, and Darumi. Those are my go-tos because they help generate energy very efficiently. Quite good at that they are. For the first couple days, we have to do tutorials, getting introduced to the various facilities. Cafeteria. The few people who eat get all the rewards. Everyone else is stuck. The pods. These are the machines we came out of. I don't know anything else about them, though. They're the machines we were in, they're the machines we came out of. Ato is nothing but trouble, but for now, we're going to rely on him. Right. Drones. Right. You can skip the dialogue if you want, but at least pretend to listen. Sorry, big guy. We're in a hurry here. See you. Okay. Having visited all the crucial locations, we're ready to move on to the next tutorial. Oh. Okay. So you have two options when it comes to your first free turns, which start on day 3. Let's talk about timing. First, we're going to skip all these cutscenes. They're beautiful. Watch them on your own time. Okay. You have 3 full free time days in order. 1, 2, 3. And you also get a free training session that you should not skip. And then you're into a forced outing. So that means you get to go out 4 times, as well as have a third. Okay? So far, so good. I won't spoil who this guy is either. Again, if you want to know more about the plot, please go ahead and watch the playthrough on my channel. I go through all the story at a nice leisurely pace. I don't care about any of that. I'm going to show you how to get the most out of your strategic decisions during your first playthrough in Last Defense Academy. So here we are. We're going to start into our first free time later today. First, let's teleport to the war room. C-Ray doesn't show up. Welcome to free time. During free time, you have a few practical options. One, you can spend time talking with other players, such as Darumi. That will upgrade your stats. Talking with Darumi is a very good first day option that I'm not going to take. Basically, it improves your base stats, which makes it easier to increase all your stats. You can go out, which is what we're going to do, but before I go out, we're going to go to the training room. Visiting the training room, although it appears like there's no one there, will immediately cause Hiriko to appear. Hey there. She will treat you to a time-free training session. You won't have to spend your time. This one is just for practice. Fortunately, it counts, so let's get in there. Here we are.
What?
First thing to understand is that every ally death is worth another 100 credits. Every enemy that dies is worth 5 credits. It is impossible to not get full credit for the enemies, but it is possible to not get full credit for the allies. So the first turn should be spent skipping. Draw the enemy card, take some damage. They blow up on the generator, that's fine, you don't lose anything from that happening. Okay, you want to watch the flow of the enemy. In this case, she's starting to get low, so I'm going to off one of the enemies here. I want her to only take, at most, 5 damage. So, I need to move her now. Here. You have to hit an enemy when you move. Now she can't be entirely surrounded by foes, which means she won't take 4 and 2 from a grizzly and 2 moves. Because she can't be surrounded on 3 sides like that. If an enemy moves here or here, they're going to blow up. Which means she's only going to... And blowing up won't do any damage to this character. So she's going to take damage one at a time, and that's just what I want. Pass. Darumi also is not going to take equal damage this turn. She'll take... Maybe she will take equal damage now that I'm looking. Depending on where the enemy attacks. She may very well die this turn, forcing us to start over. Nope. One of them attacked me instead. If this little crapper had attacked Darumi, she would be a corpse. Let's activate Last Resort. First here. And wipe out everything blocking Darumi. Beautiful, eh? You get 100% extra voltage from killing a character this way. It's useful, but it's not necessary. Now, I have enough HP that I won't go down from this guy. But, I'm not so confident about that one, so I think I'm gonna kill one of these characters. I need to wipe them all out. And if I do wipe them all out, I'll probably be fine. Grizzly will trigger the other one. This looks like a final. What I'm doing is I'm calculating whether or not Tolinar is going to get in range to use his super next turn. This is more than enough power to splat every single enemy on the entire field. With 12 AP and a full gauge, oh yeah, these guys are toast. What I'm worried about is whether or not Tolinar is going to die. These enemies are going to make a beeline for the portal. At most, he's going to take 4, 5, 6 damage. Because he won't get another enemy right there. And he'll be fine. This guy can take at most 4 damage, and he'll also be fine. Pass. Again, gate damage is totally irrelevant. Takemaru is alive, just like I thought. Now we'll activate Takemaru's super. And we can scoot over a little bit so that he kills, well, He'll kill the most enemies from here. Now we're at 300%. Not especially efficient, except for turn time. I don't care about any of that. I have 15 AP and I'm only gonna need 2 of them. 2. This will get us 37 killed enemies and 3 nice kills, maxing out the amount of gold we get for this practice run. Game over. Here comes the scoreboard. The damage done to the base is irrelevant. We get 39 enemy kills for 195 and 3 nice kills, meaning we get every last penny that this stage can provide. Normally it only gives 1,000, but since we killed every enemy, that's 39 and 3 nice for a bonus 300. We got a lot of extra money. Now we have some considerations. We can get slightly more than that by going to the next training rank. This one, like you saw, earned me about 1,500. This one will get me to about 2,000. About 2,000. Now, there are items in the overworld which are worth about 300 apiece. In total, it's about 2,700 in assets if I were to grab the absolute maximum. What I'm trying to say is the most efficient thing you can do with your time at this point, since the higher level training missions are unlocked, is definitely explore. Before you go on your first explore, what you want to do is save the game, because bad things can happen when exploring, and you don't want your run to get skunked because bad things happen. Let's go exploring. Note that we still are on morning. Normally training takes up half your day. You get 2 phases, morning and afternoon. Exploring takes up both phases. Now that we've gone to the gate, we're forced into an obligatory training session outside. We can actually back out of it if we don't want to go. But we're going. We'll take Takemaru, Hiruko, and Irumi. They are fine. Our objective, you'll see. Let's go. So right now, none of our characters have the ability to regenerate any HP. So, sources of HP are very important when on exploration missions. In particular, some tiles inflict damage on your characters. Your objective is to surf around as long as possible while absorbing bonuses. As you float around the board, various things you do will gain you those bonuses. You want to start off while your HP is full, going for fairly difficult events. So we're going to come down here. We'll try to dismantle the refrigerator. We've got something. White, green, and blue are the first colors you receive. White is cheap. You get 30 of a resource, or 100 money. Green, 60 or 200. And blue, the high value parts, are worth 90 or 300. You have slots for 9. So you can make as much as 2,700 cash, or quite a bit of other resources, while you're exploring. Note that only 1 square can be done per each. Let's push the button. We got junk item. We're gonna try to collect it. Eventually you get used to which events can actually help you earn cash. Let's play on the swings. Good. We just gained chance. What this actually means is multiplier. So we just raised our BP multiplier by quite a bit, which is good. I want my BP multiplier high. Let's pick it up. All right. Battles are not that bad. Usually you get a junk item, sometimes much better, by clearing battles. Normally, later on, battles will cause you to, well, incur certain levels of risk.
殺し合いだ。
いつでも行けるわ。
Just out of range, which is a nuisance.
出番だな。そこだ。行くぞ。はあ。
Earning 1
Yatta!
AP for 2
Yatta!
attacks is not a terrible amount.
せい。
行くよ。
Generally speaking, though, it is somewhat inefficient. The Rumi's attacks change power on her second turn. Note that her attack goes up and her range goes down. So you get a total of 3 damage. That's easy. Let's move on. Events will sometimes deal damage to your characters. You just have to deal with it. Nice! I got a blue item. That's worth a lot. Let's go do a yellow event. We'll get some normal green herbs. That's a junk item. Okay, we took some damage. If you want to decide things carefully, you are always welcome to pop open the sub-menu.
やったぞ。
There's some junk. Question mark events can be very good. Try leaving offerings here. Sometimes you'll lose stuff, but very often, donating will improve your multipliers, making it very much worth doing. Okay. This is a dangerous one, but
もらっておくわ。
it also provides pretty good stuff. Let's try it. Nope. Too bad. She's getting quite weak. We got the Crimson Rose.
もらっておくわ。
Some item. Very nice. Checkpoint. Traveling around, we can continue the exploration and gather checkpoints consistently. Let me see what the next checkpoint is. Now that we have the south checkpoint, we could probably move towards one of the other checkpoints. There's one in the east, one in the north, and one in the west. Why don't we head for the west checkpoint, which is over there? Let me see if I can get my way on that plan. At this point, my inventory is full, but continuing to roll is important because it lets you upgrade the quality of materials and attempt to increase your multiplier using events. Once your party gets really vulnerable and weak, you want to knock it off. This set of enemies may look threatening, but it's not a whole lot more dangerous than other enemies. How do you bring your class here?
さあ、行くわよ。 これはどう？
Acceleration attack here.
仕掛けるわ。
Freeze.
邪魔。あっけない。さあ、行くわよ。食らいなさい。
Drop one.
さあ、始めるわよ。
Clear him out.
死になさい。もう壊れちゃったの？
いつでも行ける。はあ。よし、出番だな。
Simple.
そこだ。
Provided you have all of your characters, usually these fights are nothing more than puzzles to be solved.
やったぞ。
Nice, we got a green money item. I'll ditch the double A's for that. Note that by viewing your bag, you can also check your current multipliers. We have a pretty high money multiplier, so it's better to get money more than other things right now. We want to angle towards blue events for now. Ooh, we lost Arumi. That's too bad. Junk. Yuriko took some damage.
もらっておくわ
We got more money. Oh, I want that more than the scrap of cloth. We're gonna take the 2. Great. That regenerates everybody except for the defeated character. Harder battles are simply more challenging. Purple could be trouble. That was imperfect. It would have been better if I'd moved slightly. So now I'm out of range, which is a hassle.
俺に任せろ。
出番のようこれはどうあっけないわよさあ始めるわよ
行くぞそこだやったいつでも行けるやってやろう行くぞそこだよしいつでも行ける行くぞ
I have no choice but to take 1 damage. Because I didn't move perfectly earlier.
さあ始めるわよ食らいなさい
That's okay though. All of us make mistakes. We lost 1 HP in that battle.
やったぞ
And we got a blue, which is excellent. So we'll drop this bamboo to get that flag. I'm gonna actually wander further in.
もらっておくわ
Alright. We're gonna take this battle as well. I'll be a little more cautious this time. Hopefully we'll be able to get through without taking damage. Here they come.
出番のよさあ行くわよ
飛ばすぜ
出番のように砕け散りなさいいつでも行けるわこれ れはどう？もう壊れちゃってさ。始めるわよ。食らいなさい。仕掛けるわよ。砕け散りなさい。あっけないわね。
行くぞ。は
あ、いつでも行けるわ。死になさい。もう壊れちゃったの？
いつでも行ける。
So, very nice. That's a lot of money. Alright, I want to keep my cash, so we're gonna drop important looking screw, I guess. Now I've got a lot of plants. We're gonna get rid of this for a BP gold token. Let's start a fight.
やったぞ。
Garbage. It's not very useful, but I could draw something great. My supply is getting very full. So at this point, what I'm really looking to do...
さあ、行くわよ。邪魔。仕掛けるわよ。砕け散りなさい。あっけないわよ。さあ、始めるわよ。これはどう？さあ、行くわよ。砕け散りなさい。もう壊れちゃったの？
行くぞ。くらえ。
さあ、始めるわよ。
Look familiar?
邪魔よ。あっ
You get
けない
used to
わ
the puzzles, you'll be able to clear them exceptionally quickly.
やっ。
Clear. There are only certain enemy arrangements. But we got jump. They can't all be winners. Go ahead and hit it. Very nice.
もらっておくわ。
We're gonna switch out the compressor. No good. Too bad. On to battle. A very familiar looking
した
battle.
ことないわ。
Let's start here.
これはどう？
またよ。
邪魔よ。
もう壊れちゃう。
またやれるわ。砕け散りなさい。
またよ。
食らいなさい。あっけないわね。
いつでも行ける。せい。
大したことないわ。
これはどう？
もう壊れちゃったの？
いつでも行ける。やっ。
Clear.
やったぞ。
Pretty junk item. Don't want it. Gonna move one here. Then I'll roll 4 to get to the sign. Hitting the sign stops your progress all the time. Okay, if you take a look at the map, you can see that this area kind of has sort of an L loopy-doopy before finally coming back this way. I only have fire extinguisher level 1, so getting in here is going to be difficult. With the junk. I'll take this event. Okay, I lost my blue item. Nothing happened. I was hoping I would get a good bonus. It did not go. Alright, we got blue part, which is fine. Gonna go with a small pumpkin. Gotta go pumpkin again. Great. We'll put this over the top of the satin then. Let's go ahead and use the treadmill. Excellent. Heading for question mark events is a very good way to gain materials. Fortunately, I was forced to go around the loop and not hit anything. Okay, it's fine. It's junk. It's junk. Pretty junk. Do the 3 I wanted. Here we go. Whew. Very nice. Kind of junk. Constantly yanking on turnips doesn't seem to work out for me. We're gonna leave this out. Too much junk compared to what I've got, anyways. Not the best. We'll pass on that. We're gonna go 1 and then 3 to catch just this fight. This is a difficult arrangement. You'll almost certainly take damage, unfortunately. Here we go. This works Oh, there's a solution. Trouble is, I still can't move enough to be able to catch more enemies.
行くぜ。
まだよ。
The best I can do is carefully decide which enemy is going to stick around. I'll
砕け散りなさい。
you take the damage. Followed? That was unexpected.
大したことないわ。
これはどう？
Shit. Fine.
やったぞ。
That's garbage. Good, we managed to regain some HP. Go for pudding burger. Alright, that was horrible. Sucks for us. Tolinar took critical damage. We're going to sacrifice one. Fortunately, it was just a 60. We should be able to survive this and pick up an item. Remember, the worst situations will have all party members take 5 damage. If that was wiping the group, it's time to stop.
まだよ。
食らいなさい。甘く見ないで。死になさい。
もう壊れちゃった。大したことないわ。
これはどう？
まだよ。
食らいなさい。あっけないわね。
出番だな。
まだやれるわ。これはどう？
もう壊れちゃったの。
俺に任せろ。ひゃっ。
Done. That's fine. Yellow plant events occasionally heal. Omega Rafflesia, huh? We'll just put that over plant essence. If we check the dispensing tray, we occasionally get healed. Yes. Grateful. Okay. 3. Around the ring we go. Ooh.
もらっておくわ。
It's time to go home. First, we'll swap out the red crystal fragment for the bartenderish sword. Now we've had enough. It's time to press plus and end the exploration.
帰りましょう。
Final rewards. Check out these multipliers. Boom! As you can see, we got a lot of materials. We made more money than we would make training, and we took home a lot of other good stuff. Now, if we trained back-to-back twice, we could have made 4,000. Trust me when I say these materials are necessary. We got a lot this time, though. It was a very good training session. We can write off today as a success. So let's skip past this, get to the start of tomorrow. We'll save the game and cut stream. We have to navigate some events before we can just cut stream. We want to get to free time. So we'll churn some events. And we're there. Hopefully you learned a lot. Hope to see you next time.